Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of 30-day Leetcode challenge. So today's question is: you're given a sorted array, and we use a pivot element to pivot or turn it around on a particular value. So generally, a sorted array would look something like this, where it's in the ascending order, right? But what they did is, let's say they took this value 4 and they pivoted around it. So the new array becomes 4, 5, 6, 7, 0, 1, 2. Basically, it's in a sorted array, but you can see it's being rotated, right? So because of the rotation, the values have shifted. Now you're given a target value to search, and if you don't find that target value, you have to return -1. In that case, you may assume that no duplicate exists in the array, and the runtime complexity must be order of log n. Now, before jumping on to the approach discussion, generally when we are given an array that's in a sorted form, uh, the basic approach that comes to our mind is binary search, right? That you can split the array into half and then check the values. But I think we will be using binary search here as well, but it will be tricky to decide on the half where we want to traverse during our binary search, because binary search is more like divide and conquer. And if it's already in a sorted form, it becomes very easy for us to decide whether to go in the first half to search an element or on the next half to search for an element. But because it's being rotated around some value, it won't be that straightforward. But I think uh, going over a few examples might give us an idea. So let's jump onto it. um, so I'll take the first example as 4, 5, 6, 7, 0, 1, 2, and the target is 0, the value that we need to find, right? Okay, so the length of this array is, let's say I'll mark using the indexes. So the length of the array is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let's say we, in binary search, we first take the mid element, right? So let's say my start value is 0, end would be 6, and mid would be start 2, right? So mid will become, in our case, would be 3. Now when we are at 3, we would see that, okay, target value is 0 and it's greater than 0. So in general binary search, because it's greater than 0, we think that it's in the left half, right? But in this case, it's clearly visible that it's in the right half. So how do we decide that we don't need to go on the left half and we need to go on the right half? So because it's a sorted array, even though it's rotated, we know it's in a sorted form, because if it starts from 0, it's 0, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's in a sorted form. We need to look for two more values in order to decide which half we need to go on. So this value and this value. Why? So let's say I come to mid element, which is 7. Now 0 is less than 7, but if at the same time I check that if 0 is less than start as well, I am pretty sure that 0 is not in this half, because start and mid cover this area. So if 0 is less than all tip of these values, I'm pretty sure it's in this half, so I need to go in this half. Similarly, if it's on the right half, let's say I needed to find value 6, right? So in this case, what I would see is that 6 is less than 7, but 6 is greater than 4, I would go in this half, right? Now let's say there is another example, like um, something like 4 5 0 1 2, and I need to find the element 2. So in our case, I check that 2 is greater than the mid element and 2 is greater than equal to the last element, so I know it's in the right half. Similarly, if I have values 4 5 6 0 1 2, or 0 and 2, right? Mid element is here. Now I check that 2 is less than both of these values, the start and the mid, so I know it's in this half. So basically, making use of these two values as well, I think we can decide on the half. Let's jump into the code to see how we can approach this. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get stuck in few of the corner cases, but we'll work it out. So, and one more thing is, today on one of my viewers suggestion, I'll be using Java. So my coding speed will be a little slow, but because I might need to Google the syntax, so please bear with me. How do you find the length of array in Java? Okay, array. Okay, so I'll be taking int start is equal to 0. This is the standard binary search logic. Now comes the main part. If target equals to nums surf mid, and we return mid, and we return -1 by default if we don't find the value. Now here we do else if let's say my target value is less than a of mid and target value is less than a of start as well. As we saw, that is not on the left half though, so I will do start is equal to mid plus 1. Similarly, I can do else if target is greater than a of mid and target is greater than a of end as well, so it's not on the right half, right? So in that case, my end would be mid -1, that I'm pretty sure it's on the left half. Similarly, so in order to see this case working, we can take a look at an example. Let's say I take an example as 4 6 0 1 2 3, right? So in this case, my mid would be this. Now what do I check here is, and let's say my target value is 6, so 6 is greater than mid and also it's greater than 3, so I know it's not in this section. So I'm pretty sure it's in this section, so that's why I change my end value to mid -1, right? Similarly, let's say mid becomes 0, so an end would be something here, so I know it's in this half because this half is cross. So this is for that, and then let's say my target value was less than a of mid. So this is for the left half check, and target value is greater than equal to a of start, right? So n would be mid -1, and also this check is for the right side if greater than a of, why I'm using a, it's nums of mid, and target value is greater than but less than equal to a of n. So I know it's in the right half, so I'll increment I guess this looks fine, that if we want to find an element, we'll get the mid value. Oops. Okay, we get the value as -1. Why? In this case, what happens is my mid becomes 0, 1, 2, 3, 3, right? So 3 is a of mid, so it's not equal, right? So now I'm checking that my 0 is less than correct, and less than this start as well, because 0 is less than 7 and less than 4, so I know it's in this half, right? So I'll increment my start to mid +1. Correct. Now next time what happens, my mid becomes 1, right? So now what happens is 0 is less than nums of mid but greater than equal to start, so I change my end to mid -1, so end becomes this. Okay, I got it. Should be greater than equal to end. So start is this, and then mid is this, so end becomes mid -1. Let me print that way we'll know. Oops, my bad. It should be less than equal to end. Let's submit it. Okay, so we get a wrong answer here. So target element is 8. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8. So our mid element is 4, 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's use this. By the way, let's check how many test cases did we pass. Oh, it's almost there. 183, 196. So we are close. Okay, let's print, so we'll know. Okay, it's 0 and 7. Let's print mid as well. And let me print mid in between. So 0, 3 and 7. So 0, 1, 2, 3. 3 is here, right? So now 8. So 8 is greater than which is a is greater than nums of mid and greater than got it, because in this case 8 is a case where 8 is greater than both this and this. That means it's still on the right half, so we need to cover that as well. Correct. So target is greater than nums of mid and target is greater than nums of start. Correct. So then our start should be changed to mid +1 because it's not in the left half. Similarly, if target is less than nums of mid and target is less than nums of end. So it's less than both, so end should be mid minus 1. In this case we will catch it. Let's see. Okay, so now what happens next time? Okay, these two cases should go up before this because of this case, because where it happens is greater than mid and less than. Oh, none of these cases happen, so okay, 037. Now I think need to run it. Let me take a new sheet. So I'll take my type my answer. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3. Right, and target is 8. So I'll keep this screen next to my question. Yeah, I'll keep it like this. Okay, so now what happens? Now initially mid becomes 037. Right, so now mid is 3, which is 0 1 2 3. Mid is here. Now which conditions does it satisfy? So 8 is greater than this. So because of this condition, it's going inside that part. Actually, because of the first check, I can be pretty sure that I don't need to go in the left direction, right? Because I can do this instead of this. I can check here then if num is less than mid and if it's less than a of start also. So start is equal to mid plus 1 else 0 end, right? Similarly, I'll take the greater case, so I'll remove this case. So similarly, if it's greater than mid, so by default it should go in the right direction, right? But if target value is greater than nums of end also, then I know it's not gonna go in the left direction, else I do. So what happens now? 8 is greater than nums of mid, right? And 8 is greater than correct. Similarly, in this case, if it's less than nums of start, let's say I had 0, 1. So I had case like 0, 1, 2, 7 is less than this, and okay, it might be, or maybe I can take this case which is 1, 2, 7, and then 0 is here. So mid is less than this and less than this, so I know this half. Correct. So 1, 3 would be 0, 1. Zero, 1, 3, and 1, 3 would be 0, 0. I come at 1, 1, 3 is greater than 1, 3 is greater than 1. think we are close. Um, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. Correct. 0, 2, 0, 3, 4. Okay. So 2. So 1 is less than. So it will go here. 1 is less than met. Correct. Now 1 is less than this and this. Think I'm doing wrong with the rotation direction. Let's grab this off. So technically, if my it's less than mid and I think what I'm doing wrong might be I need to see whether this is sorted or not. Let's grab this off. So if my mid is here and if my what do you say, I check the last and the mid element, let's say, so I will know that this is in sorted form. But if I check 5 and 2, it's not in sorted form, right? So if it's not in sorted form, then or basically whichever is in sorted form, we search for our key in this half, and then let's say then for this part so let's say this is the start, this is end, and this is mid. So if a of s obviously should be less than equal to a of mid, so we know it's in the sorted form, right? If this doesn't happen, let's say in this case it's not, because 5 is not less than equal to mid, so in that case I check if my key or target value is greater than or equal to a of mid, right? And target value is less than equal to a of end, so it's greater than mid and end less than equal to end. So I know it's between this part. Else I search in this part, right? If I know it's in this part, maybe I can write a recursive function. So what I'm trying to do here is let's say int start int time. So if obviously I'll return -1 if start is greater than end. And the mid will be start divided by 2. Now what I check is if target is equals to nums of mid, then return that, right? Else I check if start to mid is sorted, right? So in our case it will be if nums of start is less than equal to nums of mid, right? So this, if this happens, then we know that it's in a sorted form, which is like, if let's say, let me scrap this off, if I had 1 2 3 4 5 6, right? This is it. So mid is here and my start is here. So if the start is less than equal to 3, I know this half is in sorted form, so I can easily now check if my target basically if should be greater than equal to nums of start, right? And if target is less than equal to nums of mid, so I'll do return nums comma start. So it's greater than start, so it's in the left half, right? So it's mid -1 and target. Else it's no need to go in else. I'll do return search nums comma mid. It's on the right side, basically it's on the right half there. Mid +1 and comma. Similarly, if this is if start to mid is not sorted, then we know mid to end is for sure sorted, right? So in that case we'll check if target is greater than equal to nums of mid, and it should be less than equal to nums of end. So in that case I'll return search nums of I'm doing in the next half, right? So mid +1 comma end comma target, and if not, then I'll just, in this case I'll be doing nums comma it should be under this half, so it should be start comma mid -1 target. Then I'll simply call Awesome. So it was a little tricky. I should have visualized it. So I was trying to use if else cases with mid and the start. I should have figured out which part is sorted first, and then based on the sorted part, just go in that direction. And that's what we did here. Hmm, it was a difficult one. If you guys like this video, please subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up. Thanks everyone.